Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Got a pretty special interview today with Keiran Foran. I know most people would already know you, so not much introduction needed. How are you, mate?
Yeah, going well, Matt.
That's good. Make sure you talk into the microphone. The broccoli, talk loud. You're like me, you're a bit softly spoken. I appreciate today. Like, I know you're super busy and things here, there and everywhere. We'll start with a fun fact. That you're my kid's stepdad.
Yep.
So not many people would know that. We've both been married to the same woman.
Yep,
and
small world.
So how many kids we got between us now? And Richie's 10.
Yeah,
so
a cast of thousands.
10 kids all up.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's another part of the podcast we'll talk about.
Yep.
So your footy stuff, mate, something I've wanted to ask you. Like, it's really weird. When I sold your mum's house a long time ago, and I don't follow footy too much, you sort of know names and stuff. And people were coming in to the house saying, is this Keiran Foran's mum's house? Right? It's like, they wanted to always buy it because it was your mum's house. It was very funny. I'm like, who the bloody hell is this Keiran Foran guy? Was footy always your passion growing up?
Yeah, as long as I can remember, from the age of, 3-4 years old.
Yeah.
My dad was mad into the All Blacks, and being born in New Zealand, you just live and breathe it. Every household does.
Yeah.
So,
how old were you when you started playing?
I was 4 years old when we walked down the road and enrolled at Ellerslie Rugby League Club. But as long as I can remember, I was getting up through the night with Dad and watching the All Blacks play overseas, and that was my dream.
Was it? So how come you didn't play union? Like, why did you choose rugby league?
Funny question, because I think we lived up the road. We were in a rugby league suburb called Ellerslie, and
so a suburb's like either union or league, are they?
Yeah, well, the league club was down the road.
Yeah, right.
We were living about 200 metres up the road, and good friends of ours, a bloke called Jeff Sturt, he was involved in the rugby league club, so he happened to say to Mum and Dad, why don't you enrol the boys, me and my brother, down in the league club. So it was always just league. But I do get often asked that question, why league and not rugby? I think it was coincidence.
Yeah,
we just lived up the road.
Especially following the All Blacks and things. Yeah.
Sure.
Did you follow a lot of their ethos growing up?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
They're probably the best team in the world.
Definitely, yeah. So all my idols growing up were, as a young kid, were Carlos Spencer, Zinzan Brooke, Sean Fitzpatrick, all these great All Blacks players. Yeah. I didn't actually really start following league until later in life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're 4 years old, and then did you just decide along the way you wanted to be a pro footy player? Is that what happened somewhere? How old were you when that sort of happened?
Like I said, as long as I can remember, Mum and Dad used to say I used to go to bed in my footy boots. Like I just dreamt about being the next Carlos Spencer or running around, playing professional sport. And I think that passion just grew as I got older. And then as I played more and more league, my idols became guys like Stacey Jones, Ruben Wiki, these great New Zealand rugby league players. And and then that just grew through high school. That was all I used to talk about. I want to play in the NRL. I didn't focus on anything else.
You didn't ever want to flip across to union?
No, that never became a thought. I was just so keen to make it in the NRL, and that was what I focused on every single day. That was my drive.
So was it a hard journey from New Zealand to get to play in Australia at this level? Like, how do you do that? Like, from a little local club?
Yeah. So, basically moved over with the family.
Yeah.
And then enrolled in the local league club.
What club was that?
That was Asquith Magpies.
Okay.
So, they, around Hornsby there. I played with them for, it would have been 5 or 6 years. Just enjoying my footy, loving turning up every weekend, trying to get better at what I'm doing. And
have you always played the same position?
No, I moved around a lot. So as a kid, I think when I first played, I was a fullback. And then in my teenage years, I was a centre. I'd play a bit of lock. And then, at about 16, 17, I moved into what they call the 5'8" position. So, I did move around a lot. And, played at Asquith. And then they were a junior club in the North Sydney Bears comp. So I played Harold Matthews for the North Sydney Bears. They didn't have an NRL team at the time, so there was no sort of pathway through to the NRL. And then, Manly signed me as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And was it like, I mean, was there times when you didn't think you were going to make it, or like, probably because some people listening to this, well, I know Phoenix, my son, you know, we share, he's trying to work his way through it at the moment. I do see his passion, but I do see like the journey. It's quite hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you know, I think even he's at uni stage, so he's 17 now. You were saying 16 when you got signed. He's been signed to, is it? I don't know what it is. It's a Roosters, but Central Coast or whatever it is. It just seems like from there to pro is where it either happens or doesn't. Yeah.
They talk about it a lot. I think the enjoyment. You know, you're loving your footy and it's all about fun with your mates, I think, till about 15.
Yeah.
And then once you start to make these rep sides like Harold Matthews, SG Ball, they start to talk about the fact that there's so many other kids out there that want to play NRL and that only a small percentage get there. And that's when you realise, well, there's 16 teams, there's 13 players on the field every week. There's
not many spaces.
In the squad. There's not many spaces.
How many in the squad? 30?
There's about 30.
So is there that many reserves?
Well, 17 play each week, and the guys that are leftovers will play in the reserve grade team each week.
Right.
And then, you know, so you've got 30 to choose from through your squad every week. But around 16, 17, you start to realise that there's so many kids out there playing rugby league, and there's limited spots. And it's through that age bracket that kids either drop out just through lack of desire, other interests, and the ones that are really driven or, you know, extra talented are the ones that seem to kick through.
Did your parents have a big role in you getting to where you wanted to? Like, is that parental support important, or was that important for you?
For sure, yeah. I believe it is. I mean, look, I believe I always had hard work instilled in me from a young kid. That was something that my parents were huge on, was work ethic. And to this day, I say that's the greatest trait that I had instilled in me, because I wasn't the most naturally blessed.
But everyone calls you one of the smartest players. Why? Like, everyone says strategically you're just super smart on the field.
I've had to learn all that, and that's the interesting part to my career is you know, playing all my junior footy as an outside back, even having.
So was that most of your junior footy as a centre or something?
Most of my junior footy as a centre, my young days as a fullback. I was a natural ball runner. I was good at running the ball. And then they said, "Oh, we'll move you to 5'8". And I was like, I can't pass and kick. Like, these guys are the best passers and kickers. I've never passed and kicked. You know, I can't ball play.
Because does the 5'8", like, I'm sort of okay-ish with, but does the 5'8" control everything?
Yeah, the halfback and 5'8", which is your 6 and 7, they sort of direct the team around and come up with the plays. And they're your more skillful guys on the team. Okay. And
so that's your position now, 5'8"?
That's my position now, and that's the position I've played throughout my NRL career. Okay. But it wasn't until 2 years before playing NRL that I was an outside back.
Yeah, okay. Didn't know that.
I realised I wasn't going to make it as an outside back. That was the other interesting point, was that, you know, I played Australian schoolboys as a centre at 16, 17, and I was thinking, I was looking at the centres in the NRL like Greg Inglis at the time. Thinking, I'm not going to be that big. I probably won't make it as a centre. So I thought I better switch positions. So I had to learn my craft as a number 6.
What's your best moment? I just said I've got a fan here who sent me about 20 questions for you, so I'm just going to, while you say that, I'm going to find a couple.
Best moment so far? Oh, look, it's hard to go past winning a premiership.
Is it?
Yeah, I think any league player will tell you winning a premiership with your footy club is a pretty special moment. You work all year towards that moment. And I was lucky to be involved in one in 2011 with some of my best mates and at a club that I loved. And I mean, for me, that's the pinnacle so far.
Imagine it would be.
Yeah.
So here's some fan questions, all right? So, because obviously we do this for half an hour. We could be here for 5 hours, but we'll keep your time. How do you stay positive and perform at peak with people either criticising or being negative? Media, fans, club. I suppose all high-profile people would receive that.
For sure.
You get that broccoli, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, look, I've been through the highs and I've been through the extreme lows in my professional career, and
How do you manage that?
I think the internal belief's the big one.
Yeah.
I think you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in your ability, and you have to believe in the end goal, and not allow other people's opinions to determine or sidetrack that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I listened to every negative thing that was out there about me over the last few years, I'd be hiding in a bedroom under a blanket, not wanting to go outside. But I believe in what I am. I believe that the essence of me is a good person, that the essence of me is a good football player.
Yeah.
And I'm determined to, I guess, do that and prove those people wrong. You've got to use it as motivation too.
It's very true, you know, like, because obviously we just connected, even though you've only been with Kieran a couple of years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, and then it's like, but you know, exes and things, and you sort of have your own lives, and we've connected recently.
Yes.
And you know, in the meantime of all of that, pretty much every person that's, when your name's brought up, they'll say he's a good bloke.
Yeah.
Like just about everyone that I know. So you're right, the media might say one thing or whatever, but I think your anchor is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, you give it, you're known for 110% effort, and you're a good bloke.
Yeah.
You know, I've never heard anybody criticise you, which is...
And bad stories sell papers, don't they?
Oh, 100%.
You know, people only want to read negative things, and that's what sells, and you have to be a realist with that and understand that they don't want to write about the good things you do.
Yeah, for sure.
Write about the bad things you do.
It's like the news, if there's nothing good, like, I don't even know how people watch the news. Yeah. Is resilience something that you're born with, or do you develop over time?
I think you develop it. I don't believe I was born with resilience. I believe.
Do you ever get scared?
Oh, for sure.
Like when you go on against some, I don't know, what was the guy's name we were talking about before? Yeah, and like, you know, if he's running at you a million miles an hour, do you ever get like, oh?
No, I never get. I think as football players, you do so much training around that aspect. You don't get frightened. But I mean, in terms of resilience, I think it's something that you develop over time. If you're lucky enough to sort of learn it in your younger years, then you can sort of build on that. It might be something you learn later in life, going through a setback or something. But yeah, I think you do learn it over time.
The thing that would drive, you'd always have like a focus that would override any bumps that you have along the way, I guess, for your resilience. They keep you going. For sure,
yeah. The moment I have a setback, or I've had plenty of injuries over the last few years, and the moment I have those injuries, it's like, all right, what can I do to get better?
Yeah.
How can I get back on the field faster?
How's your injuries tracking now?
Yeah, not bad. Coming along all right. The shoulders, it was slow initially, but I feel like I'm starting to make some inroads now, and I think I'm looking at trying to come back and play somewhere in the middle of the year.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
We just talked about this. So life after football. So how is it for an athlete to, because you give your all to something, and then what's the life expectancy of an athlete?
Yeah, we'll say 10
How old are you
years. Now? I'm 29. I'll be 30 this year.
30 this year?
So yeah, I've been playing for about 12 seasons now professionally.
In your whole life, other than that?
Yeah.
So you can, what do you do? Like, do you stay within? I mean, obviously you don't know yet. But is that do you develop a business, or do you?
Yeah, it's a.
I told you can't work with us.
It's a daunting thought. Yeah, I might have to. It's a that wouldn't be.
I'm sure people would just want you to come over anyway.
It's a daunting thought.
Yeah.
When you've given your whole life to one profession, and then ultimately, that's going to end somewhere in your 30s, if you're lucky enough, and you've still got 35 years of working life yet. What are you going to do with it? You don't really have any other trades, or I guess any other skill set and anything else, because you've devoted yourself fully to rugby league.
For sure.
It's a scary thought. I mean, I don't. I've devoted my entire life to rugby league, and knowing that eventually that's going to end. What am I going to do?
Do you have any other passions?
It's something I'm trying to work out now.
Yeah.
I think, starting to sort of, I guess, ask myself, what could I see myself doing other than rugby league?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really tough one, and I guess now there's a lot more awareness around that in the game. They're getting young blokes to do study to the side and get their trades to the side, so that they've got these, I guess, these skill sets when they finish. But
Yeah, because someone could be 20 and injure themselves.
100%.
We were just talking about it before. Like, you could get into footy, spend all your life getting there, and second year you just hurt yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah. Are you going to mentor young footballers in any way, or like do they come to you for guidance? Like,
yeah, look, it's something that I'm always open to. I think having the journey that I've had and sort of experienced the highs and the lows, there's a lot of advice I can give young footballers coming through. I certainly don't go out of my way to put that on them, but if they come to me and they want to have a chat or ask what it was like, or how they get through something or an injury, and I often find people coming to me with injuries and questions about that, and I love giving people a hand,
because it's a lonely journey, really, like becoming a pro athlete. Like, obviously I can only relate it to Logan and also Phoenix. You sort of lose your friends along the way. When I say lose your friends become, it's almost like the better you get, your circle of friends become less. Like, and because you've got to train so much, you've got to absorb yourself in it, and obviously you have a team around you, which becomes like your friends and family. Logan doesn't have many people. I can imagine for individual sports it would be very lonely. When you think about tennis players, surfers, guys that are out there, plying their trade on their own. For us it's a little bit different. We get to rock up to training every day in these 29 camaraderie
mates, that we can have a laugh with. But you can imagine those individual sports. You wouldn't have too many people around you.
Not at all. Did you have a lot of friends outside of football, or was it just mainly your team? And
I think as I've played at different teams, I've built new friendships, and some have maintained, some haven't. But look, I still keep in contact with a few blokes I went to school with. I like to, I guess, meet new people now outside of footy. All you ever do is talk about footy. It's great to actually meet other people outside of footy.
For sure.
That you can build relationships with and hang out with. That's something that I try to do more these days.
Do you train? Do you go to the gym and stuff? And
Yeah, I still train in my own time.
So you train with footy? And then... We train full time, but, we will get a day off during the week here and there. We will have half days. And it's on those times that, I'll do my extra stuff to the side, whether it's a gym sesh or going to the park and things like that. So if you're injured and off, do you have to go watch every game as a... You do? They make you go?
Go to every game.
That's just curiosity thing more than anything. So, if you had your timer again and you were starting as a professional footballer, what would you do differently?
I mean, hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? That's one of my great sayings these days, because if I knew what I knew now back when I was 23, I don't know whether I would have made the same mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes through my career. I mean, there's two ways you can look at it. I can either look at it as, I wish I hadn't have made those mistakes, and I wish I'd done things differently, but then I might not be the person I am today.
I was going to say, but it makes you.
You have. But I believe that my hiccups and my mistakes have given me more wisdom and a better idea of what life's about.
100%. Nothing in particular you can say? Okay, a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up, because I know you've got to fly. Trev wants to know, you're going to play again this year?
You are? I'm planning on.
Because I know next year's on the cards, but like this year, do you think you'll be fit and
I'm planning
ready?
on coming back around June, somewhere around then. So it's all gym work for me at the moment, trying to build the body back up, because I've had those surgeries, and but I'd love to get back out there.
It must be hard if you're not playing and then you're at home just recovering. It must seem you a bit loopy.
Well, it's a lonely place, rehab, because you train on your own. Even though you turn up and the boys are there, but they're always out on the field doing their training and preparing for the week. So you're often inside on your own, maybe with one other bloke or two other blokes. So it becomes a lonely place. But I've had enough injuries. I'm pretty accustomed to it now.
For sure. Which shoulder is it?
Left one.
Left one. Looks moving all right?
Yeah, it's
Seems
moving
okay.
well. Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit of...
Are you faking?
I am.
I'll finish on the last one.
Yeah.
High achievers often have tunnel vision. They become obsessed with perfection and achieving goals. Has this happened with you, and has it impacted on relationships and friendships?
For sure.
Just being totally obsessed about...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It has with me. That's why I've had 2 divorces.
I believe it does. I believe that when you're so obsessed with wanting to achieve what you want to achieve and trying to perfect that something has to suffer. I mean, look, we want to get the balance right.
I was going to say, do you think you could have done the same level of achievement with more balance, looking back?
Yeah, I still ask myself that same question every day now. What do I need? How do I get the balance right? Where can I get better in life?
You seem to be, like, you go fishing, and I know you got a bit of time now, but I mean, obviously I hear through the kids what, you seem to be really engaged.
I try to, I guess, make time for those things outside of footy. But they're few and far between. But
You're trying.
I try.
Yeah.
But you do. I still every day say, where can I get the balance better? And maybe it's a little bit too far one way and not quite the other. So I'm forever playing around.
It's a constant pendulum, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You can.
Okay. That 2011 grand final. So obviously every NRL team has won a premiership. Why do you think Manly, like that team in general, won the premiership? Can you bring it down to one reason? Like, why do you think the team won that comp?
Well, it was a star-studded lineup. Like the calibre of players in that side was, really, really good. But for me, the main reason why we won the comp that year was the closeness of the group. Like, we were a really tight-knit group.
So culture's super important.
Yeah, culture.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, we were all best mates. We spent more time together than we did at home with our families. I know it's a big thing to say, but we were really tight. And I guess that showed when we were out there and we were struggling or things weren't going good for us. We just wanted to dig that little bit extra for one another because we loved one another, And, it paid off in the end.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Last one. Which kid's the naughtiest of ours?
You're not going to make me name it.
Yeah, I want you to. Who's the most challenging?
No, I'll leave it.
Paris, Logan. Keiran Foran, awesome interview.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Yeah.